The Pacific Ocean covers 63 million square miles. Two naval superpowers patrol these waters: the United States Navy and China's People's Liberation Army Navy. Combined fleet value exceeds $400 billion. The question isn't if they'll meet, it's what happens when they do. The South China Sea sees 300 close encounters per year, ships passing within 500 yards, aircraft buzzing at Mach 0.9, radar locks, radio warnings, every interaction a chess move, every move calculated. Welcome to the world's most expensive game of chicken. Let's break down what each side brings to the table: real capabilities, real numbers, real implications. The United States operates 11 nuclear aircraft carriers. Each one displaces 100,000 tons. Each carries 75 aircraft. The USS Gerald R. Ford alone cost $13 billion. That's more than some countries' entire defense budgets. These floating cities project power 1,000 miles from their position. F-35C Lightning fighters launch every 45 seconds during combat operations. Each sortie delivers precision strikes with 2,000-pound JDAMs. The carrier battle group includes guided missile cruisers armed with Aegis combat systems. These track 100 targets simultaneously. Engage 18 at once. Range of 200 nautical miles. China took a different approach. They studied American carriers for 30 years, then built something unexpected: the DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missile, nicknamed the Carrier Killer. It launches from mobile platforms 900 miles inland, climbs to the edge of space, then screams down at Mach 10. Terminal velocity makes interception nearly impossible. Cost per missile? $11 million. Cost of a carrier? $13 billion. That's asymmetric warfare. But carriers don't sail alone. The Arleigh Burke destroyers form a defensive ring. Each destroyer carries 96 vertical launch cells. Loadout includes SM-3 interceptors. These can shoot down ballistic missiles in the mid-course phase. Successful tests against targets moving at Mach 15. The Aegis system processes threats in milliseconds, prioritizes, engages, all without human input. China countered with numbers. They commission new warships faster than any nation in history. 6 destroyers per year, 8 frigates, 12 corvettes. The Type 055 cruiser displaces 13,000 tons, carries 112 vertical launch cells, equipped with YJ-18 anti-ship missiles. These fly low, sea skimming at 15 feet altitude, then sprint to Mach 3 in the terminal phase. Hard to track, harder to stop. The submarine game tells another story. American Virginia-class boats cost $3.4 billion each. They're silent. Sonar can't detect them beyond 10 miles even at full speed. They carry Tomahawk cruise missiles, Mk-48 torpedoes, special operations teams. These boats have loitered off foreign coasts for months undetected, gathering signals, intelligence, mapping underwater terrain, rehearsing strike plans. China operates 12 nuclear attack submarines. Type 093B boats represent their latest design. They're getting quieter. Western intelligence estimates they're now as silent as Soviet submarines from the 1980s. That's a 40-year technology gap closing fast. Chinese boats carry Yu-6 torpedoes, range of 30 miles, wake-homing guidance. They track the disturbed water behind a target rather than the target itself. Almost impossible to decoy. Here's where it gets interesting. Type what you think matters more in naval warfare. Type A for submarine stealth. Type B for surface missile firepower. The electromagnetic spectrum decides modern battles. The E-2D Hawkeye flies off carriers. Its radar sweeps 300 miles, detects cruise missiles skimming the waves, coordinates defensive fires, guides friendly strikes. It's the quarterback of carrier operations. Loss of airborne early warning? That's a death sentence for the battle group. China developed the KJ-600. Similar capability. Catapult launched from their Type 003 carrier. First deployment expected in 2025. This changes the game. Chinese carriers gain the same over-the-horizon awareness American carriers have enjoyed for 60 years. The playing field levels. Missiles tell the real story. The United States fields the SM-6, dual-mode seeker, active radar and infrared, engages aircraft at 150 miles, ships at 250 miles, even ballistic missiles in the terminal phase. Mach 3.5 speed. Kinetic energy alone destroys targets. A single hit from a 3,000-pound missile traveling that fast? Catastrophic damage. China's YJ-21 might be more dangerous. Intelligence reports suggest it's air-launched. Range exceeds 800 miles. Hypersonic glide vehicle. That means it doesn't follow a ballistic trajectory. It maneuvers. Pulls 20 G turns in the atmosphere. Current missile defense systems can't handle that kind of unpredictability. The physics don't work. Electronic warfare matters more than guns now. The EA-18G Growler jams enemy radars across multiple frequencies, blinds air defense systems, makes enemy missiles fly deaf and dumb. A carrier group with Growler support can operate inside enemy air defense zones. Without them, suicide mission. China invested heavily in countermeasures. Their Type 055 cruisers carry multi-band radars. S-band for long-range search, X-band for fire control. These operate on different frequencies, harder to jam simultaneously. The electronic chess match intensifies with each upgrade cycle. Unmanned systems represent the future. MQ-25 Stingray drones extend carrier range. They're aerial refueling tankers. Launch with 15,000 pounds of fuel. Extend F-35 range by 400 miles. That puts enemy ships in jeopardy before carriers enter missile range. Force multiplier that changes combat geometry. Chinese WZ-8 reconnaissance drones fly at 100,000 feet. Mach 3 cruise speed. They overfly carrier groups. Feed real-time targeting data to DF-21D launchers. The kill chain closes from detection to launch in under 10 minutes. That's faster than carriers can maneuver away. Let's talk about the human element. American sailors train for 18 months before their first deployment. Simulator time, live fire exercises, multinational operations. They've been doing expeditionary warfare for 80 years. Institutional knowledge runs deep. Battle management, damage control, operating under stress. These skills take decades to develop. Chinese crews train intensively, 300 days at sea per year for frontline units. That's more than American ships manage, but they lack combat experience. The plan hasn't fought a naval battle since 1988. Theory versus practice. Simulations versus chaos. No one knows how they'll perform under fire until it happens. What would you do commanding a carrier group facing hypersonic missiles? Comment your strategy below. Logistics wins wars. The United States maintains 30 replenishment ships. These carry fuel, ammunition, food, parts. A carrier battle group burns 600,000 gallons of fuel per day. Supply ships extend operational range from weeks to months. The ability to stay on station? That's deterrence. China built artificial islands, 7 military bases in the South China Sea. Each has a 10,000-foot runway, hangars for 24 aircraft, ammunition bunkers, fuel storage. These unsinkable carriers project power without the vulnerability of ships. But they can't move. American planners know exactly where they are. Coordinates locked into every Tomahawk in the fleet. Satellite networks provide eyes everywhere. American KH-11 reconnaissance satellites image Chinese ports daily. Track ship movements, monitor construction, update targeting databases. Resolution classified, but analysts estimate they can read license plates from orbit. That intelligence feeds into war plans updated weekly. China launched their own constellation, Yaogan satellites, 50 in orbit as of 2024. Synthetic aperture radar, day or night imaging, weather independent. They track American carriers in real time. The era of hiding carrier groups in empty ocean, over. Anti-submarine warfare remains the hardest mission. The P-8 Poseidon aircraft dropped 120 sonobuoys in a single mission during exercises. Each buoy listens for submarine signatures, processes acoustic data, transmits to the aircraft. The P-8 crew triangulates position, calls in helicopter strikes. MH-60R Seahawks drop Mk-54 torpedoes. These home on propeller noise. Closing speed of 45 knots. Submarines caught shallow have seconds to react. Chinese submarines hunt American boats too. Their upgraded Song-class diesel submarines operate on air-independent propulsion, underwater endurance of 18 days, silent running for attack positioning. They deploy along likely carrier transit routes, waiting, listening. One torpedo from close range can mission kill a destroyer. The Taiwan Strait focuses everyone's attention, 110 miles wide at the narrowest point. Shallow water averages 150 feet. Terrible conditions for submarines. Perfect for mines. China could deploy 100,000 sea mines in 48 hours. Destroyers risk catastrophic hull damage from a single mine strike. Clearing operations take months. That's a defensive advantage measured in geography. American amphibious ready groups stage 200 miles east. 3 ships carry 2,000 Marines, V-22 Ospreys, F-35Bs, landing craft. These project power ashore, seize ports, airfields. The deterrent isn't just what they can do, it's how fast they can do it. Missile magazines matter in sustained combat. Burke destroyers carry 96 missiles. Sounds like a lot. But defense eats ammunition fast. 4 missiles per incoming threat as doctrine. That's 24 threats before your Winchester. Replenishment at sea takes hours. In a high-intensity fight, you might not have hours. Chinese destroyers face the same math. Type 055 carries 112 cells, mix of defensive and offensive missiles. Doctrine unclear, but Western analysts estimate similar 4-missile defensive salvos. The side that runs dry first loses. Directed energy weapons could change everything. The AN/SEQ-3 laser weapon system, deployed on USS Portland, 150 kilowatts, burns through drone hulls in seconds, unlimited magazine depth. Cost per shot? Few dollars of electricity. Compare that to $2 million for a SM-2 missile. The economics shift dramatically. China demonstrated laser systems on Type 055 cruisers. Specifications classified, but commercial satellite photos show similar installations. The laser arms race started quietly. It's accelerating fast. Stealth shapes modern naval architecture. The Zumwalt-class destroyer looks like a pyramid from certain angles. Radar cross-section of a fishing boat despite displacing 16,000 tons. Wave-piercing hull. Carbon fiber superstructure. All-electric propulsion. The future arrived expensive. $4.4 billion per ship. The Navy bought 3, then stopped. China's Type 055 incorporates some stealth features, radar-absorbent materials, reduced angles, but nothing like Zumwalt levels. They chose firepower over stealth. Different doctrines produce different designs. Carrier aviation reached new capability peaks. The F-35C brings stealth to the carrier deck. These penetrate air defense zones, strike targets 700 miles away, return undetected. Each carries two 2,000-pound JDAMs internally, 4 more on external pylons if stealth isn't required. Sensor fusion means pilots see everything. Ground radars, ship positions, enemy aircraft, all displayed on one screen. China's J-35 matches some capabilities, carrier variant entering service in 2025, stealth profile similar to F-35. Chinese engines lag in thrust and reliability, but the gap narrows. 5 years ago, analysts predicted a 15-year advantage for American stealth carriers. Now, maybe 5. Was the massive investment in carriers still worth it given modern anti-ship missiles? Or should navies have built more submarines and drones? Leave your thoughts below. Network-centric warfare ties everything together. Link 16 data links share targeting between ships, aircraft, command centers, satellites. Everyone sees the same picture. A destroyer's radar track becomes a fighter's missile target, becomes a submarine's torpedo solution. All in real time. That's force multiplication through information. China developed their own data links. Less is known about capability, but exercises show coordinated fires between ships and aircraft. The kill chain exists. Speed and reliability remain questions. Battle will answer them. Cyber warfare operates invisibly. American Cyber Command has 6,000 personnel. They probe enemy networks, map vulnerabilities, plant access tools. In conflict, these activate. Navigation systems fail, radars freeze, communications drop, all without firing a shot. Attribution remains difficult. Deniability stays plausible. Chinese cyber capabilities worry Western planners. They've penetrated defense contractors, stolen ship designs, aircraft blueprints, missile specifications. That intelligence shortens development cycles, reduces costs, reveals capabilities and limitations. The digital battlefield matters as much as the physical one. Space emerged as the ultimate high ground. GPS guides every American weapon. Destroy GPS satellites? Precision strikes become area bombardment. Navigation turns to dead reckoning. Timing systems fail. Modern warfare grinds to a halt. Both sides developed anti-satellite weapons. Both know using them guarantees escalation. The South China Sea sees 12 freedom of navigation operations per year. American destroyers sail within 12 miles of artificial islands. China protests, shadows the ships, files diplomatic complaints. The patrols continue. This maintains precedent. International law, rites of passage. Stop the patrols, lose the argument. Chinese Coast Guard vessels play similar games. 4,000-ton cutters bump fishing boats, spray water cannons, block resupply missions. They stay just below the military threshold. Gray zone operations that achieve objectives without triggering combat. Naval spending reveals priorities. The United States budgets $32 billion annually for shipbuilding. China spends an estimated $25 billion, but Chinese construction costs run 50% lower. Labor costs, efficiency, state control. They build 2 ships for every American one. The numerical balance shifts. Quality versus quantity remains the eternal debate. American ships carry better sensors, more capable weapons, superior training. But they can't be everywhere. Chinese numbers allow presence across the entire Pacific. More hulls mean more flags shown, more influence exercised. Maintenance tells another story. American ships undergo extensive overhauls, 18 months in dry dock, systems updated, hulls refurbished, combat capability restored. Chinese maintenance appears less thorough, Western analysts note rust, equipment degradation. Readiness rates remain classified but probably lower. The future belongs to unmanned systems. Ghost Fleet Overlord program tests autonomous ships. These sail without crews, carry missiles, operate for months, cost $20 million each, 1/10 the price of a destroyer, expendable in high-threat environments, manned ships command from safe distances. China demonstrated unmanned boats in exercises, swarm tactics, 50 boats converging simultaneously. Each carries 500 pounds of explosives, or anti-ship missiles. Defending against swarms strains missile defense. Close-in weapons systems engage, but ammunition runs dry. The math favors attackers. Artificial intelligence processes sensor data faster than humans, identifies threats, recommends responses. Future systems might engage automatically. Human-in-the-loop approval creates delays. Remove humans, gain speed, but lose control. That's a choice no one wants to make. Naval warfare in the Pacific balances on a razor's edge. Both sides possess devastating capabilities. Both understand the cost of conflict. Carrier groups patrol. Submarines lurk. Missiles stand ready. But deterrence holds. The strength exists to destroy. The wisdom exists to restrain. That's the real power. These technologies shape our world. Naval supremacy guarantees trade flows, protects allies, maintains order. The 11 carrier battle groups represent American commitment to global stability. The growing Chinese fleet represents their ascent to great power status. Where these forces meet, that defines the 21st century. If this deep dive into naval technology gave you new perspective on modern maritime power, hit that subscribe button. These detailed comparisons take serious research. Your support keeps them coming. What other military technologies should we compare? American versus Russian air defense? Stealth bombers versus integrated air defense networks? Drop your suggestions in the comments. And if you made it this far, you're exactly who we make this content for. Like, subscribe, share with anyone who wants to understand how naval power actually works in the modern age. Thanks for watching.